Hello, this is Mr. Hornby 83 with another edition of Mr. Hornby 83 Topics, and I'm talking about Dragon Ball Z Part 2. I did not like my first Dragon Ball Z video. I mean, yeah, I struck on certain points, and I did talk about, how bad the Dragon Ball movie was, which it was, and, whoever liked that movie was either not a true fan of Dragon Ball universe or was an idiot. But anyway, alright, I'm going to get to Dragon Ball Z in the topic, and I'm going to talk about, first I'm going to talk about Vegeta, which is my favorite character of the show. Next to him is Piccolo, then I like Goku a little bit. But yeah, and the main thing I want to talk about with Vegeta is, one, the way he was utilized in the show. I mean, I think they could have did him better in the show. I mean, Vegeta was awesome, the Saiyan Prince. He was super strong when he first fought Goku. And then he, like, kind of weakened up, and basically after Frieza killed him and he came back to life. And some other things I gotta talk about with Vegeta that really is, he was kind of a walking contradiction of himself, too. Because he's always talking about how he's proud of being a proud Saiyan warrior and being a prince of all Saiyans, but yet, when, after Goku and Piccolo defeated Raditz and Nappa told him about it, and Vegeta's like, well, we should go to Earth to get the Dragon Balls and that, and, Nappa's like, yeah, that way we could wish Raditz back. Vegeta's like, I wouldn't waste a wish on Raditz. He couldn't even handle them weaklings. And, if you were such a proud Saiyan warrior, you're so proud of your race, why did you not care what happened to Raditz? By the way, whatever happened to Raditz, you never see him any other time in the show. But, then, when he goes to Earth, he's worried about trying to kill Gohan and Goku, and also in his quest to find the Dragon Balls, and, he gets really upset that Goku was stronger than him, which, at the time might have made sense because Vegeta was bad and he thought he was the strongest thing on the Earth, and then he fought Goku, Goku got the best of him, and then Gohan got the best of him. So, if you're supposed to be proud, you'd be proud of one of your Saiyan warriors being, like, one of the strongest people in the universe, but, yeah, I don't know. And also, with the, when he finally found out that the planet was destroyed by Frieza, planet Vegeta, instead of, being upset, he seemed to not care when Dodoria told him. He was just like, oh, well, I appreciate you telling me that it wasn't really some kind of asteroid that killed my planet, that it was Frieza. And then blows up Dodoria right after that. And, and then, at first, after Frieza killed Vegeta and Goku and Frieza were fighting and Goku was Super Saiyan, Vegeta was starting to realize it before they fought Frieza and before he died in that Goku was becoming Super Saiyan. But it seemed like Vegeta respected that up until after Frieza dies. Well, we thought he would, after his first death, and Goku disappears in space. Vegeta's going all around in space in the Garlic Jr. saga trying to figure out trying to find Goku so he could try to fight him and beat him, which would have been impossible. Goku was Super Saiyan. Vegeta had not reached that plateau yet. He does reach it eventually, but... And then in the Majin Buu saga, he's talking about how he was upset that his race was wiped out and all that, and still didn't give Goku no respect, but, like I said, though, I like Vegeta, but, I'm talking about the good things and bad things about him, so I'm being objective about this, but, yeah. But one thing in the Majin Buu saga, one of the best Vegeta-focused episodes was when he was about to kill himself with Majin Buu. One of my favorites. But I'm going to get back to also something else, too. even when Trunks, even after Bulma had Trunks with him, and Dr. Zero almost blows him out of the sky, Vegeta didn't seem to care. Future Team Trunks was pretty mad about it. He was mad because Zero nearly wiped out himself as a kid and his mom. And he was mad that Vegeta didn't do nothing. Vegeta acted like he didn't care. And at that point, he had figured out that Trunks was his son. So maybe Vegeta was doing that to aggravate him. But, still. I don't know. He was even jealous when he found out Future Trunks was a Super Saiyan. But that was before he knew he was his son and all that. But now I'm going to talk about Goku, which was the major problem with a lot of these villains. First of all, I'm going to go to Vegeta. I had a chance to wipe Vegeta out, and because of other circumstances, Vegeta did not try to destroy the world. But what would have happened if Vegeta would have stayed the route he was going and would have came back to destroy the world? And Goku would have regretted keeping Krillin from killing him. But apparently, yeah, another thing about Vegeta before I continue on with Goku. When Nappa got beat by Goku, Vegeta kills him. So yeah. That's really being proud of your warrior race. And now back to Goku. Goku's mercy was like the biggest problem with why so many people would die in Dragon Ball Z and that. And then when we get to Frieza and the Ginyu squad, he was about to let them live. Vegeta killed them, but he was going to let those guys live. You don't think those guys would have came to Earth and tried to challenge you again and tried to destroy your planet? And then, after he beats Frieza on that, Frieza's begging for, him to give him enough energy to leave the planet. And he should have just killed Frieza then, because he knew Frieza wasn't gonna change, especially with the fact that, he killed, and then he, I guess, forgot about the fact that Frieza did kill his best friend Krillin. Or so he claimed it was his best friend. It seemed like later on, Piccolo became Goku's best friend, and Krillin just became an afterthought, along with Vegeta. But that took a while. But then we get to the androids. Instead of doing what Krillin suggested, was wiping out Dr. Zero, Goku plays it off like, oh well, Dr. Zero hasn't done nothing yet. He was the leader of the Red Ribbon Army. How the heck has he not done nothing bad yet? You could go after him under that circumstance. But, Red Ribbon Army in Dragon Ball nearly wiped out the planet. And were freaking crazy and psychotic. Goku didn't have no trouble killing King Piccolo. Or letting his own brother die, but But no, he's going to show mercy against the guy that was going to destroy something that was worse than those guys. And another thing with the Majin Buu saga, instead of going Super Saiyan 3, knocking Vegeta out, and going to help Gohan and them stop Babidi from freeing Majin Buu, he goes ahead and fights Vegeta anyway, and fights him in Super Saiyan 2 form, which later on you find out he was Super Saiyan 3. He was just acting like that to pander to Vegeta, which, I didn't get. But, Goku, I think Goku was the main problem with, the world being destroyed and people dying so much, because he just, let things play out. Like with after he got out of the hyperbolic time chamber for Cell, instead of preparing to fight, he's relaxing, and he's counting on everything. He's putting everything on Gohan's shoulders, which I'm going to get to Gohan here in a minute. I'm going to talk about when he started to ascend to what he was going to do in the Cell Saga, but then he fell flat in the Majin Buu Saga up until his power was unlocked, and etc., etc. But, and then Goku finally reveals Super Saiyan 3, fights with Majin Buu. Could have destroyed Majin Buu if he would have tried hard enough, but apparently he just didn't care. He was just worried about the boys, saving Trunks and Goten, because he thought Gohan was dead at that time. Vegeta blew himself to smithereens trying to beat Majin Buu. Seemed like Piccolo, although he was awesome after he merged with Kami, fell flat. Kind of like with the Vegeta pushes that he got, and then they made him fall flat. I loved how they did that. I'm being sarcastic there. But, you know, it's like, oh, Piccolo, he might have been able to hang with Buu. Who knows? And then everybody else just stopped fighting. Krillin, Yamcha, and all them, because they were counting on the Saiyans to do everything. Yamcha became a coward. Krillin still was a little brave, but not as brave as he was back in the day. Tien, you really didn't see too much of him until it got later on, especially when it got to the Majin Buu saga. But, yeah, and Goku, instead of saving his boys, he saves Mr. Satan, which ends up paying off for him in the long run. I mean, I think Goku also had foresight, because Bardock had foresight, because he was meant to see the destruction of his planet, and his race. Which Bardock was more of a freaking, was more, you know, more proud of being a Saiyan and all the other Saiyans than freaking Vegeta was, but in some cases Goku acted like he cared more about the Saiyan race than Vegeta sometimes too, but. And then, alright, now we get to Gohan, and the point where he started to ascend, I mean, yeah, we've seen bits and pieces of his powers, like against Raditz, against Nappa, but he really started to ascend into what was supposed to be his greatness in the Garlic Jr. saga, which at first, when Dragon Ball Z first ran, they didn't show that at first, but then when Toonami went all the way back to from the beginning, then they showed all the sagas, which led to every single saga. And, but then Majin Buu saga, you know, Gohan tried to do something before Buu got released. He got spanked around. And heck, Vegeta, who people probably thought was weaker than Gohan at the time, Vegeta was doing better against Majin Buu than Gohan was. So it was just crazy. You know, and then, like, when he gets the chance to fight Super Buu, instead of freaking fighting him, he, instead of wiping him out when he had the chance to, he freaking lets Majin Buu get a chance to rest and concoct a plan to freaking take Gotenks and Piccolo and use their powers to beat, you know, Gohan, which was stupid, because if I was Gohan, I would have just went there, especially knowing he killed Videl and Chi-Chi. Went there, hit him with a Mega Kamehameha. And, you know, that's what happened with him against Cell. He made the same mistake against Cell. He freaking let Cell, you know, basically nearly destroy the world, and then throws himself in front of Vegeta and almost gets hurt. So it took him a while to beat Cell when Cell came back after Goku and them thought they killed him. But and now I'm going to talk about the direction they took with the show, because it seemed like it started out with Goku was going to be the hero. Then there started becoming little tidbits that Gohan's going to eventually become the hero and, you know, take over where Goku left off and, you know, save the world and that. Become, even in the opening credits, well, the Japanese opening credits and that, you see that, you know, it's all about Gohan when he was a kid, and that all led to him beating Cell, which I thought was going to give the direction of Gohan being the main character, which didn't happen. And then we get into when Gohan and them are older, and then the plan, I guess they were planning on making Gotenks and Trunks the main, Goten, Trunks, and Gohan the heroes, and Gohan was going to take over where Goku left off because he was dead and in heaven and all that. And like I said in the Japanese credits, it focuses on Gohan and them more than it does Goku. But then it goes right back to Goku, which I guess it's okay, especially at the end of the Majin Buu saga. It went back to Goku and Vegeta having to save the world because, in my opinion, Vegeta was always the second best. I thought he was better than Gohan and all them, but because everybody knows Goku's the number one, so yeah, Goku's gotta be number one. But they always went back to that, and it just made no sense to me why they did that. Because if you were gonna push them to be the heroes, why not in the Majin Buu saga when Gohan's awakened powers are at full charge and he just beat Super Buu right there? But they didn't do that. They dragged it out. Like, why not end it with the Cell saga? I mean, you had a bunch of sagas by then, and but like I said, they dragged it out, and it's just I don't know what the point of that was. If they were gonna, why they were gonna go that direction and then not go that direction, which is gonna get me into my final topic on this. And I was thinking about going part 2, but I'll just finish it now. But, my final topic on this is, when was Dragon Ball Z really supposed to end? Was it supposed to end after Goku beat Frieza? Because it seemed like Frieza was the main rival of the Saiyans, Goku being Saiyan, and, being a rival with Vegeta and all the other Saiyans. Was it supposed to end with Gohan beating Cell? Was it supposed to end with Gohan getting his powers awakened and beating Super Buu? I don't know, because, it seemed like Dragon Ball Z, you couldn't tell what was really going on. Akira Toriyama, and then just really, I don't know. But, I mean, the show was great. I love the character. Vegeta's my favorite, even though I was kind of critical on him, but I was being objective. And, I like Goku too, even though I was being critical of him too. But, and I will do a part 3 where I'll talk about all the Dragon Ball Z movies, and then I'll get into the garbage that was Dragon Ball GT, but I ain't mentioning that crappy Dragon Ball Evolution movie ever again. And I'll talk about possibilities of Dragon Ball Z movies probably down the future, I don't know. Hopefully they get people that cared about the show and the manga to do the movies, and not some idiot in Hollywood who just says, here's a way to get some money, this is a cash cow for us. But yeah, check out my review. I'm doing a review of Maleficent, and I know a lot of people probably going to be happy with what I thought of the movie. And then after that, doing a fitness topic video, X-Men Legends reviews, and I'm taking a hiatus till mid-August where I'll be coming back with a lot of stuff, Mortal Kombat topics and all that. So, till then, till Saturday, catch you guys later. Peace out. Sheila. 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 I'm finished. Hello, this is Mr. Hornsby 83 with another Mr. Hornsby 83 review, and tonight I'm reviewing what for some reason is the #1 movie, Maleficent. And yeah, I'm going to start by saying, I never thought a cartoon could be darker than a movie, but apparently that's what happened with Sleeping Beauty and Maleficent. But I'm going to start out, and I'm going to warn people, if you haven't seen the movie yet, I'm spoiling the whole movie, so if you haven't seen it yet, I'd advise you not to watch the video. If you have seen it or you just don't care to see it, then keep watching. But yeah, I mean, let's start with first. This is the first major problem I have with this movie, and how sexist it was. I mean, Maleficent meets Stefan because he's trying to steal something from the furry forest, and then, he would, went to shake her hand or hug her or something, and the iron burnt her, so he took it off, and she thought he was going to be different from other men or humans or whatever. yeah. We find out later how Stefan was, but well, and you know they fall in love, and you know they show where they like when she was 13 or something, or 16, and they kiss, and then they said, well, as they got older, uh, Stefan's Stefan's greed and uh, quest for power, just like every man allegedly has a quest for power, overtook him. His ambitions overtook him, so he went to be in the palace. Then we get to the point where Maleficent is getting ready to protect the forest from the king before Stefan, and he's gonna try to attack the fairies and all that, and he's like, I am the king, and Maleficent's like, well, you're no king to me, and then they fight. She kills him, and well, she didn't kill him right away, but he was dying slowly, and he told anybody if they kill Maleficent, they will take his place as king. Stefan went to the Mars, I think that's what it was called, the Mars, and he tells her that the king wants her dead and all that, and then she's trusting him, and he kisses her and that. Then, I guess he used some kind of potion to put her to sleep, and instead, he was about to kill her, but I guess because of their past, he didn't. So he cuts her wings off, takes her to the king, makes the king think he killed her, and she gets upset, really. She like lets out a loud scream and that, and I guess Stefan heard it, and I guess he was a little guilty, but you know. And then it goes on to the point where Maleficent starts going to the dark side. I'm like, wow, the movie's finally gonna start getting interesting, but it was interesting for a half hour of the movie, where you know then there's a big ceremony where first Maleficent declared herself Queen of the Mars and like was gonna be, and then the big celebration going on. Sleeping Beauty or Aurora was born. Aurora, and they were all celebrating her. The three fairies came to bless her with some gifts, and then Maleficent, she goes and gives the curse to her, which you'll find out what happened with that later in the movie, huh? But then she curses her, and then he has the fairies take her somewhere safe, although Maleficent's little a devil, her little assistant or manservant or whatever, found her right away, and he and she goes to look at her and all that, and she like sees her, and she's saying something to herself, and then the baby looks at her, smile. Well, I'm not trying to do it, but she looks, and then she's like, then the baby looks at her, smiles, and then she like tries to scare her, and the baby's still smiling, and then she says, I hate you, and then basically from the point where, that scene where she cursed Sleeping Beauty was a very intense scene, one of the most intense scenes of the movie, but now and then through the years she just keeps watching her and all that, and then there's a point where I guess the kid version of Aurora was played by one of her daughters, and she asked her to pick her up and hold her, and she does, and but you know, enough about talking about the movie, because I'm just gonna go straight to the point. I didn't like the movie. A lot of man hating, too lighthearted. They made Maleficent seem like too much of a good guy, and heck, in Sleeping Beauty, she's trying to kill Sleeping Beauty, because I don't know if it was because it was prophesied that Sleeping Beauty was going to kill her or take over to Mars, or I forgot what it was. It's been so long ago since I watched Sleeping Beauty. I mean, the prince fights her, and which the prince was underutilized in this movie. And you'll find that I will talk about the end where they kiss, because basically I just, you know, And I heard, you know, Alice in Wonderland was supposed to have a lot of sexist tones in it. I really didn't notice that much in Alice in Wonderland. And I actually liked Alice in Wonderland a lot better than I did Maleficent. Because one of your best villains possibly could have been the best villain aside from Jafar. Them two could have been married, but... but, you know, I mean, it just... I think watered down the character a bit, the story, and you know, Aurora, she's kind of ditzy anyway, so I just, you know, and people were, and there was men there, women and that, and at the end of the movie, people was clapping, including the men. I'm thinking, okay, you're gonna clap with a lot of sexist tones in it? That's just ridiculous. I mean, I didn't clap, I don't see how this movie was #1 over freaking X-Men Days of Future Past. That was a lot better movie than what Maleficent. I mean, I'm not saying it was a terrible movie. I am going to give it a 3 out of 5, but I'd rather watch Sleeping Beauty than watch Maleficent. That's just point blank. And that's pretty bad because I've never been a big Sleeping Beauty fan. I'm definitely never going to be a fan of Maleficent. I mean, the story was well done. You know, Angelina delivered and all that stuff, but... the movie's lucky it's getting a 3 out of 5, especially with all the sexist tones in it. But that'll do it for this video. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and please like this video and subscribe for more on this channel. This Thursday doing a fitness video, then doing a review of X-Men Legend games, and then I won't be doing another video until Money in the Bank. And then after that, I won't be doing that until mid-August. But until then, peace out.